Hey guys, it's Becca. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about some underrated restaurants at Disney World. These places definitely don't get enough credit, and they're pretty easy for the most part to get reservations at. They have amazing food, amazing service, and a really fun atmosphere. All of these places do. So I thought it'd be fun to share some of those places with you guys so that you could add them to your list for your next Disney vacation. Before we jump into it, I also wanted to add that recently I had the honor of being featured on a podcast hosted by Detour to Neverland. I will link it below for you to check out. I talk, of course, all about my YouTube channel, and then I share some really fun Disney memories and things like that. So if you want to hear a little more, definitely go check them out. I think you'll really enjoy it if you are a content creator. They have some really awesome episodes, so definitely go check them out. And lastly, make sure that you are subscribed if you are not already. I have some really fun content coming later this summer, so just go ahead and subscribe now. That way you'll be ready for it whenever I start posting these videos. So definitely make sure to like this video as well, and let's get started. So the first restaurant that I want to talk about is going to be no surprise for those of you who watched my latest trip vlogs in April. And of course I will link those for you if you haven't checked them out yet, but it is The Wave at the Contemporary. Y'all, this restaurant is so underrated. I have no idea why this place is not the spot. It is so good. We made a last minute lunch reservation, I believe around 12:30, and we walked in and there was maybe 2 or 3 other tables there and that was it. So we felt like we were the only ones there. I don't know if that's normal or not, but I just think because it's not as well known, it's not super popular, people just aren't dying to make reservations there. And we actually walked over from Magic Kingdom. It was a really, I don't know, just really nice lunch spot for a Magic Kingdom day because we were able to kind of get out of the park for a little bit and cool off, walk around the Contemporary, and then just walk right back to Magic Kingdom. And it was a really nice break in the day without, if you're not one of those people that wants to go all the way back to your resort to take a nap and then all the way back to the park. It's kind of a nice spot where you feel like you get that resort afternoon break, but it's in walking distance of Magic Kingdom. The other reason I love this is if you cannot get a reservation at Chef Mickey, or maybe it's just a little too much, the atmosphere is kind of too crazy for you, then definitely go to The Wave. We have only done lunch there, but I've heard that their breakfast buffet is out of this world. Our waiter said that his favorite steak on Disney property was at The Wave for dinner. Okay, that's saying something. So breakfast and dinner is definitely on our to-do list. So definitely add The Wave to your list of restaurants that you need to try at Disney World. The next restaurant that I think is very underrated is Kona Cafe at the Polynesian. And this place is fairly busy, I think, for the most part, but it's still pretty easy to get a reservation there. Unlike The Wave, where we felt like we were the only ones there, Kona Cafe still, it still gets a lot of foot traffic, but I just don't think it's talked about enough. And I think because Ohana is the restaurant that everybody is drawn to, that's the popular place, you're, up at 6 a.m., 180 days out, making your Ohana reservation, and I just think because of that, Kona Cafe is overlooked, and we loved it. Our experience there was so fun. We did kind of a brunch time slot, so we still got to eat off of their breakfast menu, and we loved the food. It was so good. It wasn't your typical just, Mickey waffle with bacon and eggs. Of course, they have that available as well, but they have some really unique dishes, and it was a really fun experience. We also love the Joffrey's Kona coffee. We always get the French press whenever we're there because it is so good. So it's really fun to actually sit down at a table service restaurant, order a French press of the Kona coffee, and just relax. And you kind of feel like you're out in the open in the lobby. And so you have that really fun Polynesian atmosphere, and it's just an awesome place that I don't think gets talked about enough. So that is definitely another place. If you're having trouble getting a reservation at Ohana, consider going to Kona Cafe, not as a backup plan, but be excited about it. It's a really great spot, and I just think it deserves way more credit. The next restaurant that I think is super underrated, and this is another one that is gonna be no surprise if you have watched my channel for a while now, but Olivia's Cafe at Old Key West. And we just absolutely adore Olivia's Cafe. First of all, Old Key West is such a quaint place. If you have never gone there, if you've never stayed there, or even just gone to explore, it is so peaceful. Even just taking that boat from Disney Springs over and just hanging out for a little bit, just kind of walking around is so fun. It just is the most relaxing resort in my opinion. And so Olivia's Cafe, you feel like you are at this little small town beach cafe. That's really what it feels like. And it just has this hometown kind of feel. I don't know how to explain it. You don't feel like you're at this hustle and bustle Disney kind of place. It just feels like you have stepped into this almost another world, which I know that's pretty much all of Disney World, but Olivia's Cafe is just something so unique, and the food is so good. It's that southern, just home cooked kind of food, and we've done breakfast several times and love their breakfast menu, and it's just a lot of fun. We also did their New Year's Day brunch, which was a lot of fun. It's one of those places too where it seems like there's always availability, and I kind of love that because we never have to worry about making reservations. We'll just normally the day of or day before make a reservation for it, but I like it because we don't really have to plan out when we're gonna go to Olivia's. We can just kind of go whenever we feel like it, and there's gonna be a table there waiting for us. So I kind of don't want to talk about it much longer because I want to keep it on the down low because I love that it's so easy to get a reservation there, but it's definitely one of our favorites, and I just think it's really underrated. Another restaurant we think is really underrated is Sanaa at Animal Kingdom Lodge in Kidani Village. Now, we have done dinner here one time, and we fell in love with it. First off, Animal Kingdom Lodge, I mean, come on. The whole atmosphere of the resort is so cool. Not to mention at Sanaa, you get to sit down right next to where the animals are. So it's all glass windows if you're sitting on a certain side of the restaurant, and you get to see all the animals. And it's a pretty cool view that you don't get at any other restaurant at Animal Kingdom Lodge or Animal Kingdom for that matter. And their food is so good. Oh my goodness. If you have not heard about their bread service, let's just take a moment. Their bread service is so good. It is worth going to Sanaa just for the bread service. You get this warm naan bread with all these different dipping sauces, and it is unbelievable. And I just don't think this place gets talked about enough. This is one of those restaurants where I feel like there's always availability. Depending on what time of year you're going, there may only be, a couple time slots left the week of, but for the most part, that's pretty good. And if you're even a few days before looking for a dining reservation, you'll probably find Sanaa on that list. And I just think it's definitely worth the trek out to Animal Kingdom Lodge. I know a lot of people say that this resort is really out of the way, but I think it's worth it. And you can really spend a whole evening or afternoon there looking at the animals, exploring the resort. There's so much to do, and it is definitely worth the trek out to Animal Kingdom Lodge. The last restaurant I think is underrated is technically a quick service restaurant, and it is Geyser Point at Wilderness Lodge. And they do have a quick service window where you can get your food to go and you can go find an open table outside of that covered area. But if you want to sit under the covered area in some of that lounge seating or at the bar, then you do order from a menu. So that's why it kind of has a table service feel to it, because you still get a waiter or waitress, you order from a menu, so it has that same feel, but you don't get to make advanced dining reservations for this restaurant. So It kind of is really unique in the way it operates, which I kind of like. And of course, I love the Wilderness Lodge. So that's a really fun boat ride if you're spending the day at Magic Kingdom, to take the boat and head over to Wilderness Lodge. It just makes for a really fun evening. And the food at Geyser Point, y'all, it is so good. This is not classic quick service food at Disney. This is unbelievable food. I would say it's a little more on the high end pricing of quick service, but it's still quick service pricing. So that's something to note as well. And I think for what you're getting, it's an excellent value. And you still get that table service feel because you have an actual cast member waiting on your table. So it's pretty awesome that you still get that same feel, and the food is unbelievable. And then the atmosphere, I mean, come on, you're right on the water. If you're there for sunset like we were, it was gorgeous. And I just think, again, it's one of those places that does not get talked about enough. And it's another one too where I'm like, oh, but I don't want to talk about it for too long, because then people are going to start going and then there won't be any room for us. But it's really, really good. Highly recommend Geyser Point. Such a great meal. Definitely add it to your list if you are headed to Disney World in the near future. So that is it for all of the restaurants that I think are underrated at Disney World. Let me know in the comments below, what are some of the restaurants that you think are underrated? I would love to continue this conversation below, and I would love to hear from you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you are subscribed if you are not already. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.